now I need to talk to you about England because obviously you're going over, you're going to be following all the teams, but you may have a close eye on England as well. Actually, that was an assumption. Do you follow England as your first team, Tony?
Um, yeah, I was
Yeah,
born
that
in
was
this.
a PC answer, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. But at the same time, if Nigeria and England were playing, I think I'll support Nigeria.
Ooh.
That's just me being honest.
No, that's fine. That's what we're here for.
I'm
But no, I'll ask you about Nigeria as well because I'd love to hear more about that as well. But no, England first, Tony. What's your thoughts on them, objectively speaking?
objective. Ooh, well, this is the thing. I don't like watching England. And the reason I don't like watching England is because we play boring football. So in a World Cup, obviously it's different. The Euros, I was gassed and everyone was gassed and we were loving it in this country. Um, I'm worried for England this tournament. And the reason I'm worried for England in this tournament is not because of England players, it's because of how the media runs it and what everyone is expecting. And I feel like everyone has to lower their expectations when it comes to England. We've been very lucky in the past two tournaments that England haven't really played good sides. I know in the last World Cup, we Sweden, Colombia on penalties, and then we lost to a Croatia side. And really and truly, we should have been beat. We should have beaten
The
Croatia.
golden generation of Croatia as well. Modric,
Exactly.
Rakitic, Brozovic. Who's the other one? You had Olic there as well. Had a good tournament. Mandzukic, Perisic in his prime.
They had a really good team, but more time, if we played Croatia now, you expect England to beat Croatia, right? So that was our chance to go to a World Cup final. And then in the Euros, fair enough, we beat a Germany side at Wembley. Fair enough, we beat them 2-0. But then we had Ukraine. Then we had in the semi-finals, we had Denmark. And then we lost to an Italy side in which we started brightly and then just took our foot off the gas. So really and truly, if you look at it, we've played three decent teams in our past two tournaments. And I don't think we're going to get the luck of the draw that again. Like, when are we ever going to play Denmark in the semi-final again? When are we ever going to play Ukraine in a quarter-final again? Do you know? So I'm not saying England are going to do bad, but everyone is saying, listen, we've got to a semi-final, we've got to a final. Now it has to be a final or semis minimum. I feel like everyone needs to lower their expectations, especially I don't want to read too much into what we've seen in the Nations League. I know we got relegated from the Nations League, but that's the Nations League. I don't want to read too much into that. But as long as England fans lower their expectations, I still feel like we have a tournament. I trust Gareth Southgate. And the only reason I trust Gareth Southgate is because tournament football, like we have this notion because we all watch Premier League football. When we watch these England stars play in the Premier League, we feel like, they should be the best in the world, right? But it just doesn't work like that. And tournament football isn't about the best team. You don't really get the best team winning the tournament more time. I remember Portugal, they didn't even win a group stage game and they won Euro 2016. So the best team in the tournament doesn't really win all the time. I can say, okay, France in 2018 were the best team there, but they didn't win. And then let's say Germany in 2014. But other than that, not always the best team. When Portugal won their Nations League, they weren't the best team in there. The best team doesn't always really win. I feel like with tournament football, you've just got to find a way to win. And with Gareth Southgate, it's like you shut up at the back and then you just try and make it work without any attacking patterns and not playing free-flowing football, which I'm okay with. I know everyone's saying that we've got so much attacking talent and stuff like that, but I feel like even if you play that type of tactic, the attacking talent it will still show, but it just hasn't. Like, England don't move the ball quick enough. There's a reason we can't fit in Trent Alexander-Arnold into this side. So I trust Southgate. I trust Southgate to take us into another tournament, but it all depends on the permutations of what happens and who we play against. Because if we need to win this group, if we win this group, we can roughly play Senegal in the round of 16 and we should beat Senegal. But then who do we have in the quarters? I feel like we could get knocked down in the quarters if we find a big team. So I'm not worried about England, but as long as people lower our expectations and we get a quarterfinals, I don't think people will moan in this country, of course, but I feel like quarterfinals is where England are going to be at.
I mean, that's what people do in England. They like to moan and complain quite a lot as well, and act entitled in a way as England fans, as we've seen previously as well. Just like you kind of said as well, we expect them to do so well because we see them in the Premier League playing amazing football week in, week out. But for me personally, I've said previously as well, Phil Foden still doesn't have a certain place in this England side because he doesn't fit on the right side for me. For the formation and the tactics that we play as well, he doesn't penetrate the defenses enough like he does at Manchester City because he can't do that at England. So it's a prime example right there as well. But yeah, if you're going to go for like a round of 16 or a quarter-final place for England as well, I think that would still be a good tournament because I've said previously as well, there are a lot of teams that have evolved over the last 2 years or the last year or so since the Euros as well, Tony. So I'm looking at it thinking there's a lot of teams that have stayed unbeaten. There's a lot of teams that have brought in fresh young players from the Euros as well. So even though we're like, oh yeah, we should have beaten Italy, we should have been better, you're seeing a lot of teams do a lot better with their younger talents coming through and their new managers coming through as well, which is really nice to see. Like Luis Enrique at Spain, still a hidden gem, and literally a lot of the Spanish side are still getting downplayed of how good they can play. And they got to the semi-finals of the Euros, losing to Italy on penalties, if I remember correctly. I should remember. I was at the game. But yeah, no, it's really nice to hear your thoughts on England.